Hey, thanks for dropping that magic keyword email. I wanted to give you something a little more useful than just a random tip or a link to a blog. So, this is going to be a real quick breakdown of how I would set up email marketing if I wanted a simple DIY system to do on my own. And the good news is this: email marketing does not have to be super complicated to start working. Most brands get stuck because they think they need this giant fancy setup with endless flows, perfect designs, and emailing every single day. You don't need that. You just need the right pieces in the right order. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to show you the basic system you need. It's going to be the best system ever. It's going to be huge. That's should be it'll be kind of small. At the simplest level, email marketing is just this. You're building a system that turns attention into subscribers, subscribers into customers, and customers into repeat buyers. 3 steps. A lot of people treat email like it's just sending promotions whenever they need to make money. A better way to think about it is as a relationship and a revenue system. It should help you do 3 things. First, capture people before they disappear. Second, follow up automatically. Third, stay in front of buyers so they're ready. Third, stay in front of buyers so they remember you when they're ready to purchase. If you're not doing those 3 things, your emails probably feel random. Random emails rarely perform well. If I were building the system, here are the 4 parts I would focus on. Check this out. Part 1 here is going to be the capture. Before you can email anybody, you need to give them a reason to join. Bear with me on my notes. It's going to be messy, but they'll be able to keep up. This could be a whole bunch of things. This could be a guide, a giveaway. Careful on this, it brings in a lot of trash. You need to be very specific and filter people a lot. A quiz, whether it's a service you do or product, quiz people about it. You could do one of my favorites, early access. People love, especially if you're going to do a limited drop. If you're a bladesmith and you're doing 12 knives, you should have at least 13 emails. Any kind of useful resource. The last one, and this is one people usually default to, sign up to get a discount on my product or service. Hold that back. Try other things first. That is part 1. The key here is it has to make sense for your brand, for your audience. You might not need a coupon. So sometimes strong educational products and services that you give out there would be way better for a freebie. And that's it. So it's one simple step. Part 2. Let's go ahead and number these. Capture. Try to make this stay neat. You need the welcome flow. When they enter, don't just let them sit there. Welcome flow or welcome automation, however it makes sense to you. This is the first automated sequence that people are going to get, like I said, after they join. This is the most important thing. If you do nothing else, build this out. This should answer a few things or do a few things. Who are you as a brand or person or company? What do you sell? Let's make all questions. What do you sell? Why does it matter? Why does it matter to the person reading it? Keep that in mind, because we're all pretty biased in our own opinions. What makes you different? This is, a lot of people do this. They give basically a regurgitated version of their about us or our mission statement. They forget this last part. What should the reader do next? Give them direction. For a beginner welcome flow, let's go ahead and make that looks good. It reminds me of MS Paint days. This is 3 emails. You can bang this out in 3 emails. Basic stuff. 3 emails. First one, this is going to be just your welcome and intro. Welcome and intro. Second one is going to be kind of bestsellers, whether it's best-selling courses, best-selling products, whatever. Bestsellers. If you have an offer, this is your time. And offer if you have. This doesn't mean give them a discount. If you have to do that, that's how your industry is, sure. But if you have a different offer, talk about that. Offer doesn't mean discount. Lastly, this is the part where we'll probably see a couple of last sales trickle in. Trust building email. This could be reviews, before, after. Your brand mission can come into play here. Brand mission. This last email is handling objectives. You don't know why people don't buy from you? Ask your customers, ask your people. That's what you're going to do here. The third part, let's go ahead and keep the good thing going. Part 3, these are your campaigns. These are those emails you might send every Friday, Monday, whatever day. You don't have to be like PSA and email 3 times a day every day because they have an enormous email list. It doesn't have to be like that. Didn't mean to do that. This is going to be such a raw video. These are manually sent emails every week. Even if you have 400 people on your email list, 1 email a week. Keep them alive. Keep top of mind in the inbox. Inbox is extremely competitive. This is where people either do overdo it or they don't do anything. Here's an if. You can rotate between education, product service highlights, customer stories, stories and testimonials. FAQs. Handle their objections. Objection. Big one there. Everyone complains about pricing. If you're able to handle people's objection pricing by explaining them the full value of what they're going to get and how it's going to feel, don't just sell them the drill bit, sell them the whole, sell them the feeling of hanging the picture on the wall and looking back and seeing it, like the whole picture here. Obviously, different seasonal things come up, 4th of July, Black Friday, Father's Day, that sort of, this will be seasonal. And if you do have offers, right? Offers, I'm putting those at the end on purpose because I like people to maintain their margins. So, last part here. You got them, you sent them an email, you want to keep them? Retention is key, right? This is where a lot of brands fail. Automation, this should take you an hour or two to set up. Another 15 minutes to bang out email, but then they get distracted back at the shop with life, whatever the case is. A lot of effort goes into that first sale. Once you get it, you want to come back. Most people will say yes, right? Where a lot of people fail. So the nice thing is, if you do have a product or service where people can come back and they're not just buying one knife that's going to be lifetime and you have nothing else, this is the easiest sale. You've already paid for the lead and your time and maybe even some ad spend money. You have them, let's have them come back and finally give them reason. So you can do this. Thank you. Oops. Thank you. Thank you, Flows. Educating them. So if you have a product or service where people do it or they buy it and they're at home, like, hey, here's how you clean your gun. Hey, after you take this course, make sure to do this sort of dry fire. Here's a couple drills. Cross sells. Hey, you bought this, you probably want to take a peek at this. You took this course, this is the next one. Here's an easy one to be super helpful. Ask for a review. Use it in everything. Brings them back for the second purchase. Okay, you can even be straight, just blunt with them, like, hey, you bought this holster. This is, thank you for that. But do you have another gun you want a holster for, or do you want to have, this piece added to them? There's ways to build on this, right? Thank you for bearing with me on that. Those are the first 4 things you can do. This might take an afternoon, but other than sending a campaign once a week, these things are all done. This is rinse and repeat, automatic, and it makes a lot of money. Now, if you're trying to DIY this, here's where most people mess up. They either focus on design and ignore strategy, or they only focus on those discounts and ignore the trust factor. Pretty emails don't automatically make money, and constant promotions train your audience to wait for the next deal. So the stronger move here is to ask, what does this person need to hear at this stage of their buying journey? A new lead needs clarity. A warm subscriber needs confidence. And a customer needs a reason to come back. Those are the mind shifts to keep in mind. Yeah, those are the mind shifts to keep in mind. Good email marketing is less about blasting and more about sequencing the right message at the right time. So if you want a stripped down DIY version, here's the setup that I'll recommend. Let's check this out. All right, so this is it. Got it? Good. Class dismissed. Now, this is like it says, your starter do-it-yourself email marketing stack. So you need to have, going from top to bottom here, a lead capture offer. So a reason to provide some sort of value to your customers and then bring them into your email ecosystem. So this can be done through social media. This can be done through paid ads. You can go to live events and have people scan a QR code and get it. There's a lot of ways to get this done, but you have to have it set up. So have the offer. Then once they get the offer, they need to go into that welcome flow we talked about earlier. Okay, these 3 flows, 3 to 4 emails set up, automated stuff, 1 day apart, nothing crazy, is your basic post-purchase flow. Whether you do have a physical product people buy online, or they go to your do a course with you, they're still buying something. You need to get back in front of them afterwards and thank them and give them reasons to come back. Then an abandoned cart flow. There's a lot of different ways this can be done and set up. But again, if you have an e-com shop, people are going to shop. Life's going to happen. They're going to have objections. You need to handle that in the abandoned cart flow. If you have a service, same thing. You could be about to book a course for a firearm instructor course, but your kid comes running and your dog craps on the floor. You got to have them come back. All right. So these are the automations in the middle here, and then this one here, the campaigns. Start with 1 a week. You might start this on a week where you have plenty of time. You're like, I can do 3 a week. You need to figure out how many you can do consistently. Okay, and then bump it up. If you can go 2.5 or 3 months of 1 campaign a week, cool. Then bump it to 2. See how that feels. All right. Other days of the week, but this is your starter stack right here. Simple, right? Kidding, obviously, right? This is what I do for a living. It's not simple. This is moderately advanced stuff, but you don't need to go crazy. You don't need more automations than this. You don't need 7 different lead captures. You don't need to email people every single day. This is your clean foundation. Because once this starts working, you can then start to layer in a little more sophistication. So hopefully this gives you a better understanding of what actually goes into a simple email system. If you're not a total beginner, don't overcomplicate it. Start with the foundation: capture, welcome, campaigns, retention. That is the engine you're building here. Once that's running, you can then optimize copy, improve your segments, test offers, and get a little more aggressive. If you want, reply back. Let me know where you're stuck, whether it's your pop-up, your welcome flow, campaign ideas, or just figuring out what to send first. I'm happy to point you in the right direction.